Hello, everyone. It's Cheryl from Tinker's Cart Art, and we're going to do a little painting this afternoon. As you can see behind me, I'm in my Halloween and fall painting mood. So here we are. We're going to paint on a little find that I found at Target. I don't know if you saw my little live where I showed you all the cool, inexpensive things I found to paint on, which is always really fun. So I'm going to say thank you for watching. Thanks for popping in. I see everybody's popping in. I love it when you let me know where you're watching from. And if you have any questions as we go along, I have the comments right here. I can answer them. If for some reason I don't, I come back later. So any questions, please shoot them out. I would also love to know what you might want to paint. I teach beginner painting and step by step and very easy. So if you've never painted before, I'm here to hold your hand. You can do it. We do simple little projects. And anyways, thank you guys for saying hello. So let me bring up the comments. And let me remove the banner so you can see everything that I'm painting. I'll switch my screen around in just a minute. I just thought it would be nice to say hello to everyone. Hey, Tracy. Hello. Good afternoon. Hi, you guys. Cheryl, another Cheryl. Well, thanks for watching. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm always thrilled to see people from near and far. Sometimes you're the next town and sometimes you're across the country. Oregon. Oh, Tarita, thank you. Hello, Diana. I'm glad you're here today, too. I know I'm dragging my feet out of summer because I love summer so much, but I am ready. I've been painting lots of Halloween. I've got a few things here I'll show you as we go along. I'm sure we'll have time. This is a super easy project. Hello, hello. Thank you guys for coming in here. Hello. In Illinois, Donna, thank you. Thanks for watching. So I did do a quick live one day and showed you all some interesting little things I bought at Target. Let me switch around here because really you don't need to see me. You need to see this. This little tray was adorable. It has like a little spider web edging. It was $5. You know, that little section of Target, when you walk in, it has all those cool things. Hello, Gail from Mississippi. I love seeing you pop on. Thank you for watching again. And Cheryl, you're in Illinois. I think I knew that. So cool. This was wood tone. I painted it a couple coats of this navy blue paint to start. I'm going to paint a spider on here, and it's going to be quick and easy, but I'm going to show you a little bit about how I get my ideas for painting and how I start. They come from all over. This morning I was taking my morning walk and I found some little acorns. And of course, I come home, my pocket's full of acorns and leaves and different things because I'm working on a painting from an illustration I did of little fairies. One is wearing a little acorn cap and they're flying above a little pumpkin house, fairy house. And so I said, what better to gather up these little acorns that will help me when I'm painting. Lenora from Connecticut, you're my neighbor from the south. I didn't mention I am in Massachusetts. Sometimes I come to you from Maine because I do love to be up on the coast of Maine. So I'm here in New England, but it is thrilling to see everybody. And Diana, oh, speaking of bats, I know I'm getting off topic, but really this is going to be quick. I'm getting ready to do my bat paintings. Everyone's been asking for bats. I did a couple of paintings, but I sold them. So I fashioned them after I do some silk scarf painting. So this is one of my little bats, and I have one that's hanging upside down, but I want to translate it into a painting. So I'm going to paint it on this little board I prepped with the same navy blue background. So we'll be painting bats and pumpkins and all things Halloween. Hi, Linda. I'm in Clinton, Mass. I'm right in Central Mass, north of Worcester. And Barbara, hello from California. You always pop in too. Thank you for watching. So what I want to do is paint a bat. I knew I wanted to paint, spider. We will paint bats. I wanted to paint a spider because of the trim. While I was there, they had these little picks for $1. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. Maybe something on the side. But for now, we're just going to paint. So like I said, if you just popped in, this was just wood tone. I painted it with some acrylic navy blue paint. Just going to be using acrylic paint today, whether you have the heavy bodies and the tubes, the craft paints, whatever you have. I will show you how to paint, and I don't need you to run out and buy all the particular things. You use what you have. So, oh, you'll be here Friday, Linda. Oh, cool. Where are you heading to? And another Linda from Alabama. Hello. I just pulled out some colors now that I know, and from Texas. Hey, Cindy. I know I want a purple spider. I'm going to highlight it with some of this pinkish purple because I know we have a dark background, but I want to make her pop, so we'll get her some light edges. I pulled out just some Halloween colors. I've got all my paints here. Because this is not something I've painted before, I can't know exactly what colors I want to use, but as I go along, I will certainly show them all to you. Hello from Southern California. Hello from Mass and Texas, Cindy. It's great. I'd love to see you guys all popping on. Thanks so much. So I had the purchase. That's where it started. And then I knew I wanted to paint a spider. So I just take my sketchbook, and I know I'm always nagging you guys to start sketching and get your sketchbook, and it's just so much fun. And plus, it's where I jot down ideas. I have ideas for all sorts of paintings in here, or just notes or little quotes I see that I like. But I know I wanted to did the dark background because I wanted to do a little bit of a spider web in white for the background. But I'll put that on after I paint my little spider. That's okay, Gail. You'll know I share this. I have this all recorded, and then I share it the next day or later on today. So, hey, Jane from Wisconsin. So I know I want a spider. Did a little quick sketch. I think I may make it with the witch hat. But I do know I'm going to paint the spider, and then I'm going to go in the background and make a spider web in white, either using a brush or a paint marker or a gel pen or something. So we're gonna see what happens there. Like I said, you guys are along for the ride usually, and you're very good too, because who knows what's going to come out. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sketch a little spider on there. Doesn't really need to be traced on. This is a simple pattern. A spider is really just an oval. So I'm just going to use a piece of chalk. I'm going to sketch a spider. I'm going to go sort of towards the bottom of the piece, because I think I do want to put a little, I think I want to put a witch hat. I made a pumpkin the other day with a witch hat. Started out very much like this. So I think I'm going to just maybe put a little witch hat on her as well. If I did not have the witch hat, and I probably still will, I would put a little line like it's coming down from its web. And we only need the little oval to start. We're going to fill that in with purple paint. And her legs. Now we know it's spider because we'll have those 8 legs on there. And I think I just kind of just give myself an idea where they're going to go. Doesn't have to be fancy. They're going to be nothing more than little brush strokes. That's all I really need to start. So if you want to paint the spider, you're watching the recording later, start with just a little oval. You could paint her just without a hat even. But I know I want her purple, so I'm just going to go in just using a flat synthetic brush. And again, you might like around, you probably want something bigger for this area. So I'm using a flat because I can cover a lot of space at once. You could use a filbert or whatever you're comfortable with, or whatever you happen to have. That's the key there. Now you can see this purple paint is very close to the background, which is the navy. And that's all right, because I'll show you how to make that pop. And I'm going to make her maybe a little fuzzy-ish. I might stipple a little bit. We'll see. I'll just grab a little rough brush here that sometimes I would just stipple with to give her some texture. Hello, Sharon. Hi, Linda. Hi, Jane, everybody. I want you to be able to see her. So I'm going to just I've got my brush loaded with purple paint. I'm going to just take a little bit of that lighter color there on my brush. I know I do a lot of double loading when I'm painting. Now, you don't have to do that. If you're more comfortable, you could simply take your round brush, load it with the pink, and put it on where you want and blend it. This just saves a little bit of a step. I've got purple paint, a little bit of that pink. I just want to pat it down a little bit on my palette first, just so that it blends a little. And I think I'm going to just go around the edge so you can see the background, the spider from the background, but I think I might make it more of a rough stroke. I don't want to make it perfect. I'm going to make her sort of fuzzy. Spiders creep me out, by the way. This is going to be a cute one. I don't mind snakes. I don't mind mice. Spiders creep me out. So this is going to be a very cute one. So I'm just going to give her just kind of a little wiggly edge of that light. Underneath the hat, it would be a little bit of a shadow, so we don't need to make it light there. I'm going to put cute little blush cheeks on her. So we'll introduce more of this pink color as we go, but for now, that's good. I have a trace amount of that pink on my brush still. So I might just poke that around here and there just to give it some texture. What I was saying about the stippling, you could take a softer, like stenciling brush, or a brush that's kind of scraggly. I have a zillion scraggly brushes around here. Even something like this, which the flat brush is. Let me get it under the camera. See how it's kind of splayed out a little bit? I'm going to take that color with any of these brushes. I don't want to take and just put it on now. It's a little bit too much paint. So just pat it off on your palette or your paper towel. And if you just want to give a little texture, can you see it's giving a little bit of a texture there to that little spider body? It's all what you like. You could have left it plain, but I just wanted to make it look a little bit lighter in the middle. And if something's round and the body of the spider's round, it would be a little lighter in the very middle. So you could very well leave it like this. I know it's hard with the reflection, but I might go one bit lighter. I'm taking a little white into that pink color, really patting it off. You can see my paper towel good. So really patting it off. And in the middle, I might just make it a little lighter just to give her some more form. And I know I'm working fast, but if you work fast enough and the paint is wet, then you can almost blend effortlessly. It almost blends by itself. If it was dry, it would be a little harder. So that's why I like to go a little quickly. So I am going to maybe go back in with the purple if I need to blend a little more. You can just get it as subtle or a blend as you want, or as harsh a blend. It's all different types of painting, all different styles, and we all paint differently, and that is what we want. It's not about mine didn't look like yours, mine didn't look like so-and-so's. We don't want that. I want them to look like yours and not mine. And if I paint this twice, as you've seen me do things, they don't come out looking the same. So it's all about your own take on things. Hello, Darlia. Yeah, Barbara, I tell you, I can all of a sudden, even snakes don't bother me so much, but I'll tell you, spiders are small and creepy, and but I want to paint them for Halloween anyway. So that's what we're going to do. So there's her body. Let's make some little legs. The good thing about sketching with the chalk is I don't have to, try to get that line exactly as I sketched it. It's going to erase really easily for me. So I am not going to be a slave to the lines. I'm going to rinse some of these brushes off too. You don't want to have the paint sitting on your brushes really very long. It dries pretty quick, and it will dry up in the ferrule of your brush in no time. So unless you're going right back into it, just give it a good rinse. I do want to paint with a dry brush usually, so I will absorb some of that water off there. I'm going to go to a round brush now and do the legs. Same colors. So I want purple legs, but the purple will not show up very well on this dark background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the purple paint on my brush, just loading my round brush with it. I might just dip a little into the pink. So I almost can do the little leg in one stroke. So up it goes and then down. I will have to reload my paint quite often. So I got two little legs there. And I really am. Just dip your brush into the purple, a little corner of it into the pink. And it's just simply a little line. So this guy, you really don't need to trace. You can paint her very easily. If the color gets lost, that looks just kind of light purplish, take your just pink on your brush, and you could just go back and really give it a little highlight if it looks like it's just blending into the background. So I'll do that for this other legs. Is everybody watching a painter? I know we have lots of crafters. I am on my Craft Round the Clock segment here with you, as well as the Tinker's Cart Art page. Tinker's Cart Art on Facebook is my business page, and you can see my paintings and projects and things there. But I am loving the Craft Round the Clock group. You ladies are so crafty and talented, and I'm learning so much. Maybe one day I'll even be able to tie a bow. But I wonder how many here are painters already. And if you're not, and you have an inkling to be, maybe you think that you never could paint, or you weren't born with that talent, or blah, blah, blah. It's not always something you're born with. You can learn it like anything else in life. You can learn it, and especially if it's step by step. Now, I might decide to add a little white if she doesn't pop, especially on those little legs. They're still wet. I'm taking just a little white on my brush. I might just go up along the upper edge. It's trial and error sometimes. We may or may not use it, but can you see now the leg is really popping out? So I think we do need a little bit of that white. It's a work in progress. Just these little stroked legs up and down like a little V almost. Nice about it being wet still is that I can still blend that color. And I do think I like the pink I got in there. but I think I'm going to get a little more pink. Can you see how it's blending with the purple that's already it is on there? It's taken a little while to dry, which is working in our favor right now. So I want purple, I want the pinkish edges, but I think I may do the same stroke I did a minute ago. Just a little bit of that white on the corner and patting it off. Because I think just to make her jump out from that background, we need to get a little white outline. Don't you agree? I think that's better. I think that really shows up. If I'd painted this before, I probably would have done that right away, but this is just a little project I have not done before. All right, crafting and painting. Yeah, I do a lot of different crafts like you saw. Well, I do the silk painting on the scarves. I have started doing a little needle felting. Does anybody ever do needle felting? All I do is say the word and I can feel the pricks on my finger because I love to do it, but I am always stabbing myself. It's crazy. Oh, yeah, the practice is, practice is good with painting, but sometimes just to do the process is just brings joy to me and to my painters. And I think that's a big part of it is just the process. And if you enjoy doing it, like you're painting this and you enjoy it, you're going to come back and do it again. And then you'll do it again. And that's practice and you get better and better. So it's really great. I'm not going to give up. I still have some cute little things, but yeah, I do like the needle felting. Okay, so to get, let's do that. I'm going to base coat the hat in now. I'm thinking I'm going to go with orange. If this background was lighter, I would have done a purple or a black hat. Not purple, she's purple, a black hat. It's just not going to show up here. It would with a lot of white on the edge like I'm doing here, but I think it needs some purple because the purple and the, orange, the orange and the purple are going to be nice coordinating. Can you see how, well, that's actually on the camera, it's covering pretty well. So I'm going to do it. Lots of times purples and yellows are really translucent. And so I would say underpaint with white if you need to, or mix a little white with your paint. I don't mind the way that's looking actually. Sometimes just some of the dark showing through is kind of a nice look. So let me just paint this little hat in with the orange. I will probably do it a couple coats. Acrylic paint is wonderful, but it does need multiple coats at times. And the trick about that is just putting on a nice thin coat that you can. Always let it dry. I know I'm always impatient and I want to get right on there and do the next coat, but you're going to simply just take off the layer you just put on. So it's best to just let it dry. And you can always dry it with your hairdryer or your heat gun. I don't think we'll need to do that today, but I do have that handy. And now we'll just do that little brim here. We'll put a little band on that, like a little buckle in the front like you see. And as soon as it dries, what I do is I wet my finger or a paintbrush and just get the chalk lines off. It just kind of bugs me. But again, you want to be patient because you don't want to smudge your paint. I'm not going to do it really around the hat yet. And there we are. We have a little hat. Let's give her a little face, and then we'll go back and finish up the hat. And like I said, this is a pretty simple project, so we will have plenty of time if you have questions as I'm going along. I'll show you some other projects. If you have something that you want to learn to paint or you want to see me paint, just send me a message, put it in the comments. I do take those things seriously because I would like to do what you would like to see, and I want to show you how easy it is to paint. So yeah. Okay. Little face. So I'm going to do like I said, little pink cheeks. I'm going to use this pink we had. I'm going to add a little bit of water. I like to thin the paint down when I'm doing some detail work. I'm going to mix that with some white. And I'll place her little cheeks, and then I'll kind of know where the eyes will go. We'll give her a little mouth with a couple little crazy teeth. And let's see. Actually, I might go with this. Let me just try it with the pink by itself because it may just be fine that way. It's going to need a little white. So I'm going to just place them. I'm just kind of placing them where I want them. I started small, and then I could always make them bigger. But I am going to want to make them a little lighter, I think. Yeah. And I might just soften the edges to blend them in so they're a little bit more like when you're putting on blush. It sort of blends. It's not like a harsh circle. And to do that, I think I will just I'm going to take a brush. This is my little filbert brush, but it got a little scraggly, and it's kind of like a nice brush to puff, to just do some light stippling with. So I'm just going to softly do that. Just, it's more like blush than a big cheek. I can always take a little more paint on my brush and just get them the shape I like. On the camera, that one looks pretty good. In person, I can see through it to the dark, so I'm going to put a little more on there, and if I have to, I'll put another coat. But it looks fine on camera. Isn't it funny, the difference? So now I have cheeks, I know where I can place the eyes. They're going to be just set up a little closer in here. And since she's a little whimsical character, we can make cute eyes. We don't have to make like anything. I'm not even looking at pictures of real spiders. So I will just get a little white. It might take a few coats, but let's just get her whole eye in white. Then we'll make a little, I was going to give her maybe green eyes. So I'm going to just take the little detail brush with some white. I'm going to make them kind of ovalish. There's so many ways to do cute eyes. You could do a Google search and save little examples of things you like. They could be very round. They could be oval. It doesn't really matter. I don't know what, I think, I don't even have any rhyme or reason why I do them the way I do them sometimes. So I think these are going to be a little more oval shaped. Now, if you were painting this and you wanted to get an idea of where you needed to put your eyes, feel free, put them in chalk first. That way you can really see what where you're going. Hello, Lisa Marie. Nice to see you. Cute spider. Yes, we are talking about how I'm not a spider fan and I wouldn't want a realistic looking one. And that's too small, so I'm just going to make it bigger. I'd rather start small a little bit. And what's awkward about this little tray is I can't get my hand right in there, you know. I have to like kind of work weird around it, but I really thought it was cute. I was at Target yesterday too, and I saw more things, but I'm going to paint my little stash first before I get any new things. So there we are. Just place those little eyes. You can kind of see through the paint. I know you can't there, but I'm going to give it a second coat. My hat's dry. I'm going to go in there and just get another coat of orange. These are just little whimsical paintings, so I don't have to get really particular about, I'm going to shade and highlight, but I don't have to worry about, oh, the light source is here and all this as if I was doing a still life. I just want to shade still though and highlight to give these little objects form. So the hat looks pretty flat. We're painting it just in orange, but I will show you how you could add just a little shadow and just a little highlight, and it will give shape to that hat. And that's what I like to do, is even if it's a simple little painting or a little cute something, I still want to give it form and shape and just a little detail. I noticed I got a smudge of orange on my little leg. If it's wet, you could just take a clean paintbrush with some water and wipe it away. This is dry. I'm just going to put a little dab of purple over it. Mistakes are super easy to fix, so don't worry about that. If you need to, a little alcohol takes off some of the dried paint. You could paint over things. So anyway, it's nothing to get worked up if there's mistakes, because we all make them. Yeah, Lisa Marie, I love the chalk thing because I like to see people do a little sketching. I on my paintings, of course, there's usually tracers available, but something like this off the cuff, a little cute spider, it's just an oval. So I love her hair color. Oh, well, she's purple hair color, her color, not hair. I was thinking like, no, that's a hat. That's not hair, but all right. So a little mouth and some teeth. Now, I'm trying to think her mouth, if we did it in black, let's see, I think you'd be able to see it. So I'm going to just do a little kind of a little smiley, wavy mouth that connects up to her cheeks, the little corner bits. And you know what I like to do on these little cheeks sometimes, just for fun? I take a little bit of the color that they are, mix it with some white. And you can do, I don't want it to be standing out too much, so I'm just adding a little water so it's a little more transparent. And you can kind of put a little highlight there, which I don't want it to be so strong as that. So I'm just going to do it and smooth it in a little bit. So it's just a little highlight. She's going to have a couple of little teeth. just in white, just like little fang teeth. I guess she could kind of be a vampire-y spider, maybe. Just kind of makes her look a little goofier and cute. While I've got this white, I might as well do a quick little second coat of my eyeballs. There, another coat there. The outside of my hat is pretty well dry, so I just want to erase the chalk. Sometimes if you're tracing a pattern and you do have a tracer and you're going on a dark surface like this, of course you could use the white transfer paper, but if you don't have it, many times I'll just take my tracing and just rub the back of the paper with chalk, and that'll give a good enough line for you to transfer your design. There. Another coat for those little white teeth, I think. Oh, thanks, Barbara. She is pretty cute. I had in my mind something I wanted to paint, so I wasn't going completely off the cuff, but I want to do that hat. And it is kind of see-through. It would have probably been better maybe to add a little white to my paint, but that's okay. So what I was talking about, how it would have a little shading and a little highlight, there's going to be a hat band here. Under the hat band, it would be a little shadow. So again, like I usually double load and do my shading, but you could certainly just put it in with your brush. So say I want a little burnt sienna. So that's kind of just this red brown, just to throw the little shadow. And I'll probably do one side of the hat in a shadow, but you can either double load or you can just go right along and paint that in. This isn't such, it's very close to the orange color, so it is kind of blending. It's almost too light. I think I need to put a little black in with that. A little black into my burnt sienna, get a little darker brown. Darker brown there would be better. And I'm just painting that. And I'm just painting where I want the shadow. And then I might just take my brush and just soften it a little bit, just so it's not a harsh line. So you can either double load and get that same look, or you could simply put your line in. And you can see it's just a little shadow there. I'm going to do the same thing on the hat. I'm going to make it a little darker on this side, a little brighter on that side, probably a little brighter in the middle. It's sort of a shaped object, and in the middle it would be a little brighter there. So let me go ahead and get some of that dark brown on my brush. And I'm just going to go up that side with it. I know it's a little hard to see, but let me try it again, and I can make it a little wider, and so maybe you can see it a little better. Yep. Sometimes I exaggerate things on the camera just so you can see them. It's going to have a little bit, I'm going to put that dark in under the brim. And on top of where the little hat band will be, it might be a little shadow. So I might just go across like that. That just gives me an idea of where that's going. This is a little shadow. And I'm going to do light on this side. So let's try it with yellow first. We can always, again, go to the white like we did on the spider body. But if I got my orange on my brush, putting the corner into the yellow a little bit, pat it down. And let's just go up along that edge. And it might not blend as much as you need it to, but you can always go back. So I've laid it on there. It looks pretty good on the camera there. And in person, it needs just a little softening. And I don't think I would put white on there. I think that's good enough. Hi, Tony. Thanks for watching. Yeah, Lisa Marie, this was another little thing from Target. Hi, Debbie from Florida. Thanks for watching again. I might make it a little bit yellow in the middle too. Like I said, it's a little closer to you, so it might be a little bit brighter. And I'm just sort of softly, I'm not using a hard brush stroke. I'm just kind of patting it pretty softly. Hi, Jane. Oh, new viewer. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. And I would love for any of you to share with any friends that might like to paint or learn to paint. I appreciate that. I don't know if it's in the description, but I will put it, all my places to follow me if you would be so inclined. I do have a YouTube channel with some free little tutorials and classes on there. You're welcome to take a look. And I think we'll put a little headband on there. And as the paint dries, sometimes it seems it's not as bold and the color's not popping like I'd like. Then I just go back and touch it up. Hello, Sue. Don't worry about being late. You're never late because it's recorded, so you can watch it anytime. Hi, Tony. Sue, thank you very much. And headband or color. Lime green, maybe. Maybe lime green, because I was going to maybe make her eyes green too. So let's do lime green for that little band. I don't know how it'll cover on the orange, but if something doesn't cover well, like I say, I take a little white into the color, and the second coat, it really does cover fine. So I'm going to make a little lime green hat band. And I think the orange is still a little wet, but I'm going to put this coat on there just to get it started. And then while we wait for it to dry, I can show you some of my Halloween projects I've been painting. And if you've just popped on, I would love for you to let me know what you might want to paint too. And let's get our eyes. I paint animals a lot and people, but animals too. I love to get the features on quickly so that I can really let them come alive and have some light. So let's jump in and do this, the eyes here. Tinker's Cart Art, Barbara. All my channels of all my things, Insta and everything is Tinker's Cart Art. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate the subscribe. I'm live there now too. When I go live on my page, and I craft round the clock, I'm at Tinker's Cart Art, and I'm also live right now on YouTube. I'm painting just the iris, so it's just a big green circle. It's actually not a good color for you guys to see, though, is it? Gosh, you can't see it at all, hardly. I put teal out, too, because I thought maybe teal would be kind of cute. So let me do it in teal and see if that is better on camera. It's actually pretty cute. I love teal. I've been in a huge teal and pink phase for a while, and especially with the purple and the orange. Yeah, you can see that much better. So now you can see the green one a little bit. She looks crazy now. So just teal for that big circle. When it's dry, we'll put a little pupil in there in black and a little highlight, and they just come alive. So let's let the crazy eyes dry. Hat band dry. I'm going to do a spider web pattern around the back of her. I figured to do it now instead of before because I would have to cover up a lot of that. So I love purple. Yeah, purple and teal is pretty cool. So paint markers are fabulous. My paint markers were all dried up, but I do, if any crafts and things that you guys do, these gel pens, it's the only one that I can find that ever works. It is Signa Uniball. I don't know if you can see that, and I have it upside down. I look like, oh, I had it right side up, I guess. It's called Signo, S-I-G-N-O, Uniball. It's a white pen, and it goes over everything. You could go over paint with it if you're doing mixed media, everything. This thing is fabulous. Because of the texture of this, I just don't know how it's going to work, but I'm going to give it a try. So, and it's just a little pattern like you see here, and the lines radiate out, and then you connect. And it's just really a little whimsical thing. So we're not worried about, oh, the right amount of space between each little piece of web and all that. Let's just see if the pen actually works first on that background. If not, I'll just paint it on. But I just wanted to show you, or if you have paint markers, those paint markers these days are fabulous. It's not unlike a Sharpie, which is just a flat, works just a flat color. The paint pens have paint inside them. They are different brands. I think I have one here that's black, and you shake it up, actually has paint in there, which is kind of cool. So you can do a lot of detail work, signing your names and whatnot. Sue, I find these at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or any craft or art store. It's pretty common, and I tell you, it just is the best. So let me just try it, because like I said, the ridges here might not allow me to use it. If I go slow, it kind of works. It's a very rough surface, not very, but a little bit of a rough surface. So I did want to say, when you're prepping it, I painted it with the color. I painted it with acrylic. Then I sanded it with a fine sandpaper. And then if it needs a second coat, I put the second coat on. So you sand it with a very fine sandpaper, use a dampened paper towel, and just remove the dust. and then second coat. So I always, when you paint it in the water-based paint on the wood, it raises the burr a little bit, so it's a little rough, but you sand that down, it gives you a nice surface to paint on. So what I would do on this little guy is you can just make your lines. It's actually working with the pen. I might not do all of them because that would be kind of boring for everybody to watch, but you get the idea. You would radiate all your lines, and then they get connected like this, like a spider web would. Actually, it's working really well. And you just do this. You could even have just part of a spider web. It could be just part of it behind her. It doesn't necessarily have to be the whole thing. But let's do that little bit so you can get an idea. I'll, of course, finish her up later if we run out of time, and you will see the photos online here. I think we still have plenty. We still have 10 minutes. So let me see if I could put the other teal eyeball on. And if I have to, I'll just pop the dryer on it too. Oh, you know what? She needs little eyebrows too. Eyelashes even. Let's give her some little eyelashes. And there's all ways to do little eyelashes on decorative things like this. I kind of want to make her look a little surprised, so I'm going to do just little lines, which again could be very well, actually could be done with the pen probably, either detail brush, but detail like this though, keep your paint thin down, few drops of water with it to keep nice thin lines, or simply, I am just going to do, get that pen started again. They're kind of like little kid eyelashes, to be honest, but you know how they draw those eyelashes, but I thought it'd be kind of cute because she's just a fun little spider. For the pupils in the middle, an easy way to do little dots of any sort. You could use, if you have these little styluses or these little dotting tools, but if not, just the back end of the brush works. You could look through your brushes and find one that's a little narrower than others to get the size you need. And you simply just dip the back end in and put your little dot in. And then do it again because you want it to be the same size. And there you go. And the only thing the eye really needs now is a little highlight. I might outline them a little bit after too. In black, I probably will. And I just want to get that hat band in there now too. One more coat of that lime green. And I'll put a little buckle. Glitter is always fun after. I love this this Twinkles Deco Art glitter. It's kind of in a binding that it paints on, but it dries clear, just except for the little sparkles. And I put one on my other project. Did you guys see the little, it's here. Oh, one of my other Target finds, and I did already do this. I had a little lesson online somewhere with this one. So it was a little basket that looked the shape of a pumpkin. Actually, I did it with Craft Around the Clock, I think, last time. And I painted the pumpkin with the witch hat, but can you see the sparkles? I put sparkles on the hat and on the bats, which was kind of cool. So that's always fun to add a little glitter here and there. We always need a little glitter, and she's going to definitely get some glitter. So, all right, the headband is drying. It doesn't always have to have a buckle. It could have stripes or polka dots. That might be kind of cool. I think I'm going to do polka dots because that's super easy. Back into my brush again. And maybe just white. Let's see how they come out. That's a little big. That brush backside is a little big. We'll use this one. I've got white teeth. I've got a little white of the eyes. I like to use, when I'm painting, I like to take the colors in the painting and use them throughout the painting, if that makes sense. I'll sometimes start with just picking out my color palette, and that way the painting stays cohesive. So I know it sounds silly, but we've got white in a few other places, so I'm going to just do white little dots. If this was a little boy spider, we could have put a little bow tie on him in orange, maybe. I want to brighten up the edge of that hat a bit. I'm going to just take just the yellow on my brush. Same on the brim. I think it needs a tiny bit of yellow. I don't know if I put yellow here, actually. I might not have even done that. There. So she's pretty much done. She doesn't really need eyebrows now that she has eyelashes. I may take a tiny brush, like I said, thin down black, and maybe do a little outline around the eyes just to kind of enclose them. A little hard because of I can't set my hand down on it, but I'm going to try to get it somehow. And, oh, and then the little highlights. So I'm just going to give the eye a little outline of black. What do you guys think? She's kind of not too spider-like, right? And throw in the comments before we wrap up about things you might want to see painted. Going into Halloween and fall and Christmas, I have these little segments, and I'd love to paint whatever you would like to see. So when I do little highlights and eyes, the thing to remember, these look like really crazy eyes. I don't know if I love that. I don't know. What's the consensus on the eyelashes? They might be a little crazy. But anyway, you do the highlights in the same place. So think of the eye as a clock. I usually do my little highlights like at 2 o'clock, usually always. You don't want to do 2 o'clock and 11 o'clock because then you get Marty Feldman with the crazy eyes. So I always try to, wherever they go, just put them in the same place. I love Christmas too, Sue. I'm excited about some paintings. I did some great fun ones last year, and I've got a nice Father Christmas design this year, all kinds of things. So yeah, so I would just finish her up probably with the spider web. Any thoughts on spider web all the way around or just in the corner? I'd love to hear them. Eyelashes, yay or nay? If the leg gets a little lost, I just go back in with a little of the light color and, give it a little highlight. But there she is, cinchy, right? With 4 minutes to spare. So we have time if you have any questions. Like I said, I teach acrylic painting. I teach people who have never painted before, brand new painters. That's thrilling to me. I love it when people rediscover that their love of painting. Life gets busy, you give it up sometimes, or maybe someone along the line said, oh, you haven't any talent, blah, blah, blah. There's no right or wrong, and it's a fun activity. So I'd love to introduce you to it. And I'll show you. Okay, so eyelashes, I think you mean you love the eyelashes? Okay, so other things I've been painting. Actually, today I've been wanting to do a painting wanting to do. Yesterday, I was at Home Depot and I was taking pictures. They have the great display of pumpkins, the bumpy ones and the bluish ones and all the pumpkins. And it's so much fun. So I took a bunch of pictures from above. And then today I was working on this. It's not quite done yet, but it's just going to be, I can do it this way. It's just, I love that bumpy pumpkin. I know it looks weird, but it really was like that. So that will be fun for fall. My art membership group, I have an art membership group, and the other month we were doing highlighting and shading, and so we just did these little pumpkins just for examples of where the darks and where the lights go. So there's lots of fun things. Oh, and this is just a pumpkin I had in my stash, and I think I'm going to paint it white, maybe with gesso because it's a weird surface, and paint flowers. I did some last year, not on a white pumpkin, but on other colors, and just painted 1-stroke flowers on them all around, which is kind of cool because it's the opposite of some of the spooky stuff that we see. So that will be a fun activity. So, hey, Charlotte, you are so much fun to paint with. Charlotte's in my membership, and she has been painting up a storm. Like, she has so many cool things that she's learning. And Charlotte, when did you start painting? Because you haven't been painting too long, and she's sketching now. I've got her with her sketchbook, so I think it's great. I do encourage you to keep a sketchbook. Doesn't even have to be this big. It could be a tiny little book. Keep it with you. You might be waiting at the doctor's office. You might be just taking notes. You might see something that sparks your interest. A little sketch of it is really going to help you when you go to paint it. Photographs are great, but sketches mean so much more. Yeah, Barbara, I'm going to. I have some. I think I shared the other day, if you go and follow me on Facebook, and you scroll back a little bit, I think I shared the little video from last year's painting of those pumpkins. And it's also on YouTube if you want to catch it. But I'm going to do it again. Yep, Charlotte's been painting for a year, and you should see her great paintings. She's fabulous. So I really, again, thank you guys for watching me, wherever you're watching me from. And I love coming on and painting with everybody. And these little segments are great because we can dig into this little subjects and our little spider. So I'm going to actually, of course, put glitter on her. And I will take photographs. The recordings will be up. And I will be back again of course, next week painting something, but I would love to hear what you might want to see. So please just let me know. And you can always message me. I'm always around. I can answer questions if you're stuck on something. I know it's hard with that glare to see, but can you see how the glitter just kind of finishes it off? I won't do it in the background. I'm going to leave that with the flat look. And then I'm just going to put it on the hat. I'll put it on the spider too. Oh, Sue, you're quite welcome. Absolutely. So now is my time to pop off, and you guys stay tuned for the next crafter because it's so cool, all of the new things that you can learn to do. So I will see you all next time. Thank you all for watching. Bye.